I am Terry. Welcome to my channel. I am talking about weight loss and how I've managed to lose 103 pounds. You can follow along on my journey. You can scroll all the way back and see where I started. I started at 338 pounds. This morning I was down to 235, so I am down 103 pounds. You're about to watch how I did my meal prep yesterday. So at the time I didn't know that I was down 2 more pounds. So anyway, welcome to my channel, and you can see what I do and how I've been doing to break through my stall and continue with my weight loss journey. Good morning. It is meal prep day. I'm doing something that my air fryer specifically says not to do. I put some foil in the bottom of my drawer. I'm just seeing what happens. Like I said, it specifically says do not do it, but I am doing it to see what happens. Because I've got some cooking to do, and you know, if that saves me a mess. I got an apron today. Good morning. I have an apron on because I'm tired of getting food all over myself. I'm preheating my air fryer. The way I ate this past week, based on what all that food I meal prepped, it worked really well. I'll let you know as far as weight and stuff in a separate portion. Let me look up so I can kind of tell you what I did. My breakfast every day was the same. It was, it was 8 ounces of 80-20 meat. And then my coffee, which is the half a packet of chocolate salt, coffee, and 2 tablespoons of coconut cream. So my breakfast is always about 622 calories. Then on yesterday, my lunch was 12 ounces of the lean ground beef, 2 cups of Normandy blend, 2 tablespoons of the Rouse red marinara sauce, 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. Supper was 7 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken and 2 tablespoons of Alfredo sauce. So yesterday my total calories were 1,700. Wednesday, so I'm going backwards. What happened to Friday? Well, I missed Friday, sorry. Lunch Wednesday was the 12 ounces of lean ground beef, 2 cups of Normandy blend. I did 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds and 1 teaspoon of liquid aminos. And then dinner was just the boneless, skinless thighs with some dry seasonings. That was 1,588 calories. Wait a minute, what happened here? Shoot. I kind of jumped around here. Then, let's see, yeah, that was that one. Then Thursday, yeah, I did jump around. Thursday, lunch was the 12 ounces of ground beef, Normandy blend, and the 2 tablespoons of the Rouse tomato basil sauce. Dinner was 7 ounces of chicken thighs and 2 teaspoons of Parmesan cheese. And that was 1,592 calories. And again, all this was less than 20 carbs. I just didn't take a picture of that part. I'm just letting you kind of know what I've been eating and how I've been utilizing the meat that we meal prep. Tuesday was the 12 ounces of lean beef and 2 tablespoons of tomato basil, Parmesan cheese, and then supper was just the 7 ounces of boneless, skinless thighs for 1,572 calories. And again, my breakfast is the same all the time. Lunch on Monday was the 12 ounces of ground beef. I did 2 teaspoons of Primal Kitchen sesame ginger dressing, 1 teaspoon of liquid aminos, and then dinner was 7 ounces of chicken thighs, 2 tablespoons of pico de gallo, and 1 tablespoon of sour cream for 1,662 calories. So that's what I've been eating and how I utilized my meal prep this week. This thing is squawking. I'm going to take a look and make sure there's no issues down in there. So I'm going to let it keep preheating so it doesn't drop down real fast. I'm trying to clean out my freezer, so I'm doing another kind of mixture of stuff for my breakfast. This is my breakfast, which is the 80-20 meats. So I'm just got a variety of 80-20 meats that I'm going to be doing in my air fryer just for grins. I've got chuck eye that I'm going to go on and cook. The package has a puncture in it. So I'm like, it was in the freezer, so I knew I needed to go on and get that. It might be a little freezer burned, but put enough seasoning on it and I'll never know. So I'm going to do this at 6 minutes on one side, and I'll do 6 minutes on the other side. And I'll come back and show you when it's done. Hey, a quick update. I just wanted to let you know I still having the morning loose bowel issue. I'm kind of starting to think that it wasn't spinach. It was my electrolytes, whether it's the Relight brand or this is a Redmond's brand. I couldn't tell you. It's fine. It's not all day anymore. It's just that one time in the morning. So I'm enjoying the electrolytes, so I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, I forgot to season this. So yeah, I'm not changing anything. The amount of vegetables I'm eating is fine. I'm not changing that up because like I said, at lunch has been the two cups of Normandy blend, and I've enjoyed that. I don't know if I have any in the freezer, but what I've been doing is, like at the beginning of the week, pour 2 cups in these my plastic containers, and then I can take those. But anyway, just wanted to tell you that the constipation issue is gone, and the loose stool issue is just in the mornings. So things are going okay in that area. Okay, I just flipped them. I've got, the first time was 6 minutes, this time I'm doing 5 minutes. And I seasoned both sides with my adobo seasoning with pepper that you just get at your local Walmart. Okay, it's done. I have a digital thermometer, so I'm going to see. 132, 137, 44, so 130s. I don't know if that's medium well. I think I'm gonna do another 2 minutes. I don't like mine medium rare. I prefer medium, and I guess I should Google what medium temperature is. Okay, the thermometer thing said 135 So 140. That's 140. 146. 150. So I'm gonna call that done. When I set my meats out to defrost, I usually set them in this pan, and then the metal pan, this glass and metal pan. So I'm just gonna set my steak in here to rest. I've been watching a lot of that guy that I talked about last week, Chef Pierre, and one of his episodes was about how to cook a steak. So now it was not in an air fryer, and he said to salt first, but yeah, I'm a little too spontaneous for that kind of thing. I am seasoning these because this does not go in the dog stuff. They don't, they get the leftovers from the chicken here, and the way over here, you can't see it. I've got the 97% lean ground beef. So they get the juices from those. So they'll get plenty of liquid for them. So this I go on and season because they're not getting it. So anyway, I'll do this is stew meat. So I'm going to fry this up, and maybe by the time this is all done, I'll cut up the other. And I also, like I said, I'm trying to clean out my freezer. This is ground pork whenever I was making my breakfast. So I'm gonna air fry this up, and I'll show you how all that looks when I'm done. Because then that'll be my breakfast. Because the calories for this was in the same range as the steak and the stew meat. So I'll just have a mixture of that stuff for breakfast. Awkward location, but I'm cutting into my steak, and you couldn't see it whenever I had it on the counter. So now I'm cutting it up so I can put it in with this. With my steak bites, I'll show you the steak up close. It did end up being more medium rare in the very center. But it sure is good. I have the stew meat done down here. Right now I'm in the process of cooking my the ground pork. I've got one set of 4 patties cooking, and then I'll get the others done, and I'll show you how I plan on getting it all divvied up. I need to wash my knife and wash my board here, and I'll show you that. I have some of the burgers done, or the pork burgers. Again, this is ground pork and not sausage, but that's how it is. This one took a little longer, but I've been doing 6 minutes on one side and 5 minutes on the other. That's another one. So I've got 2 in and 2 left, and then I'll divide it up and incorporate this into my breakfasts. Okay, so I have ended up with 5 breakfasts. And how did I determine what was going to do with the leftover? I counted 4 out because I have 4 furry faces. So that's the pork. That's a pork burger. And then there's a couple pieces of it in here. And then my steak bites. So all this will be for my breakfast in the mornings. I'm going to make up something special for my breakfast here in a few minutes. I'll show you that. But first, let me show you what happens after the recording usually. Hang on. Okay, get you turned around. Don't get sick on me. Watch him come running. There's one. Here comes one. Hang on, let me see. Let me zoom out so you can see better. Hang on. Come on. Come on, phone. Here's how it goes down. These three don't bite my hand. There's Lou. This is Sammy. And come here, Callie. This one's Callie. Now this little baby shark here, I give him his bites for things like tongs. Stay back, guys. Stay back. This is yours. Good job. And that's what I do with the extra 4 bites if I have them. So next I'm going to make, I don't know, I think I named it something. Oh, pico de gallo / onion / tomato paste topping. I'll explain as I go. I've got to heat up some, I've got onions, and I didn't have quite enough onions to make a full cup. So I have this onion pepper blend, so there's a couple peppers in there. But that's fine. I'm not stressed about a couple little bites of pepper. That's about a tablespoon of bacon grease. Since I don't cook as too often, I keep my bacon grease in this glass dish in my refrigerator. So I'm going to saute these onions and then a couple peppers in there first. It's a cup. And then I've also, which I'll add that in a little bit, it's pico de gallo. And it's actually pico de gallo salsa. And it's over in the produce section at Walmart. And it's, you know, they have the pico de gallo. Well, one was called pico de gallo salsa. And what I did was I dumped that out, or I dumped it on a cookie sheet that I had lined with parchment paper. And I stuck it in the freezer to kind of defrost a little bit. I wanted it, to kind of freeze, and I wanted it to dry out some of that liquid from it. So that's what we're going to be using. 1 cup of onions, 1 cup of this is what it looks up close. It's dried out pico de gallo salsa. And I'm going to be using a half of a cup of tomato paste. And pretty sure it's what I've got, half cup. Anyway, and so, hang on, let's see if a half cup is 120 calories. There is 2 tablespoons, so it'll be 4 servings. Oh, hang on, I gotta do some thinking. Okay, the math didn't work out for what I put in, so in the end I'm gonna have 6 tablespoons of tomato paste. Anyway, so that's what I'll have in there. And what I did, I plugged it into my Fitness Pal, all those amounts, and then I figured out what would if I divide into 7 servings, how much it will be. And what I'm making in 7 servings, each little serving, and this is just going to be like a topping for I can put on my breakfast. And it'll be 29 calories, 7 carbs, 0 fat, and 0.6 protein. So I'm really just looking at the calorie aspect. carb aspect, sorry. I just don't eat a lot of carbs throughout the day. A lot of the days when I'm done, I've only had like 5 or 6 carbs, depending on what I've eaten. Of course, the Normandy blend, if I have that, that makes a difference. But, so I'm going to saute these onions and I'll get back to you. Since the pico de gallo is frozen, onions are starting to brown. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the pico de gallo. So that way you can start cooking and it'll slow down the onion process. But here's the onions and cilantro and other things inside the pico de gallo. So this way it can all kind of work on blending those flavors. So, like I said, I've been watching that French guy. And Chef Pierre, oh shoot. What the heck was his last name? I don't remember. But anyway, I guarantee you if you type in Chef Pierre, or if you look at who I'm following, you'll probably see his name. Anyway, so he made, well, let me focus on this one first. He said that you never add garlic before onions because the important part of the flavoring in garlic is in the first 2 to 3 minutes. So, after watching him, and he's been a chef for like 50, 60 years, and he's had schools and a restaurant. And anyway, definitely somebody I enjoy watching and learning from, and turning some of his ideas into more of a keto thing. Like he made a meatloaf wrapped in bacon, and he used things like breadcrumbs and I don't even remember what else. But he made a chicken, a ground chicken. Now he ground his own chicken. So part of, as what I was saying earlier about cleaning out my freezer, I have some ground turkey in my freezer. So what I'm going to do then is I want to make a turkey cordon bleu. Work with me here. I'm going to use, let's see, did I send myself? I don't think I did. I'm going to use, but you'll see it next week, but I'm going to do some ham and Swiss and ground turkey. I'll use pork rinds, a couple of eggs to bind it with, and bacon. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds so stinking good. So I plugged it in to MyFitnessPal, and because like I said, that's what I'm doing with everything. When I have a recipe, I plug it in and see how much the total calories is, and then I see how many servings it needs to be, and that's what I've been doing. Now, hang on, we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5 and 6. Is this scientific? Absolutely not. But I can throw this little thing away now. And I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. Maybe like less than a 1/4 cup. Just enough to help it all kind of mix in well. Now, like I said, I'm going to make this. This has to be into 7 little containers. And so it's, probably going to be about a tablespoon a day, which is fine because these flavors are going to be strong and good, and maybe I'll add a little more water. I could reduce it. But this is what's going to go on those pork patties and steak bites this week. So I only had enough to make 5 of those, but I still have, I think 2, hang on, let me look and see. How many days left from last? 3 full days, and then today's lunch and supper is what's left from last week's meal prep. It's Saturday, so that really will be good. So 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 more days after today worth of food available that'll be made. And then, you know, the stuff that I'm making now, last week it was the same amounts. And so anyway, so I'll have plenty left over. So I think I'll go ahead and add a teaspoon of garlic. I guess in essence I'm making my own tomato sauce, but it's gonna be good. So I'm gonna reduce this a little bit, and I'll come back and show you how much is gonna go in each of my little containers. I'm laughing because I said there would be like kind of like a marinara, but that's absolutely not true. It's more like a Southwestern, because of the flavorings and stuff that was in the salsa. So it's got a definite kick to it. I did have to add some salt. Let's see. A little bit more. Turn the heat off because I don't want it to reduce anymore. Yep, that's good. So now I'm going to divide it into 7 containers, and I'll show you. Okay, so all of them are 25, but now I've got this much left over, so I'm going to 25 grams. So now I'm going to up them all to 30. So this is how I work to divide things up evenly so that the calories, whoop, that's 40. So that the calories are the same. And so I know what I'm getting that day. Sorry. I know it's an annoying sound. Actually bringing them up to 35, judging by how much I have left. Now, for the record, you may hear me like licking my fingers or licking a spoon or something, but I just cook for myself. I don't have anybody else eating my food, and I'm not in a restaurant or anything, so yeah, you know, if I was somewhere fancy, it'd be different, or if I had other humans eating my food, but I don't. So just thought I'd point that out, that yes, you will hear me and see me licking my fingers or licking the back of a spoon or something, but it's just me, myself, and I. So that's just how I roll. Okay. So, now I have these 7 little things, 7 little containers. And I will put, what I'll do is I'll put maybe 3 or 4 in the freezer. And the leftover 3 or 4 will go in the refrigerator. And in the morning, when I grab my food that I'm taking for the day, my BLS from last week, when I take the BLS, I'll grab one of these jobbers. What I did last week, whenever I took like some Rouse or marinara, I took it in one of these, since it was just 2 tablespoons. So I put in one of these last week. Okay, so that is the end of this process. Like I said, I'll have the, I still have the chicken going. That's over here in the crock pot. And I have my lean ground beef. I'm going to move that over to here just for convenience purposes. So I got my crock pot still to go, and you've seen that process many times. So I'll just get those ready, and that's what I'll have. Hey, so real-time conversation. Look, this is my apron. And I used it a lot. I was wiping my fingers on it. Anyway, real-time conversation. If you're somebody who's met your goal and you remember how you transitioned from weight loss keto to maintenance keto, leave a comment down below or connect me to a video or something. I know, I do understand I've got a long way to go till I'm at that stage. I do understand that. But I just would like to know from somebody who's been there how you transitioned from weight loss keto to long-term maintenance keto. I find that concept very interesting. I'm sure there's some things you had to change, and whether you tweaked adding carbs, whether you tweaked adding calories. Just when you go through weight loss for so long, I'm just curious, what it's like transitioning to the maintenance phase. So, like I said, I've got another 60, 70 pounds to go, but it's good to learn about this stuff, because when the time comes, if somebody's come across my page and you've gone through that and you can educate me now, that'll save me trouble later on. So yeah, if you have been through that or know somebody who has, or know of a channel and they talk about that transition part, let me know. Please leave a comment down below. And don't forget to like and click the subscribe button so you can see how my journey goes as I lose more weight. Really quick, this week for lunch, instead of the Normandy blend, I'm taking this zucchini blend, green and yellow zucchini. It is 15 calories. Hang on, I cut it right on the line. Carbs is 3, and I doubled it, so it's going to be 30 calories and 6 carbs. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So I'll take that. Does this thing zoom out? No. So I'll take those 5 for this week instead of the Normandy blend. I'm going to sprinkle some of this adobo, the original adobo, over it. This is the fruit of our labor. We have the 5 vegetables, which is the zucchini squash. We have our suppers, our lunches, our breakfast. That's the broth that we have left That'll be for the dogs. And then our little, I don't know, toppings for our breakfast. So there it is. That's our meal prep for the week. Sorry about the dogs. Somebody walked by.